Hello everyone and welcome back to my C# course. In this episode we will learn about console write line, variables, comments, identifiers and data types. So let's begin. As I said in the last episode, we will talk more in depth about the console.writeLine command. Well, it's fairly simple really. Console, which is a predefined class of system, and writeLine, which is a method of console, along with printing a new line of course. I'll show you what I mean by that. If I'll write my low volt program again and console.readLine, when I run it, it will go to the next line. But if I'll use console.write instead, it simply won't, and it will stay on the same line of the hello world text. There are scenarios when we will use the write line and ones that you will use the write. For example, console.writeLine, welcome to my program. After that, console.write, please enter your name. After that, we will have a console.readLine. As you can see, it will print the welcome to my program first, and then please enter your name, and it will allow me to write my name right after this text. If I'll use writeLine here as well, it will look like this. Depending on how you want your text to look, you can choose between writeLine and write. Now let's do a little exercise. Create a program that will print your name to the console and modify the program so your name will be surrounded by asterisks. This is an example for you. Good luck! Now let's solve this together. There are three ways of solving this. The simpler one, which I guess most of you did, is using 3 lines of console.writeLine like this. The second way is using \n, like that. In this way, we just go to a new line each \n and therefore print all that we need in a single line of code, and that will look like this. Exactly as we want it to. The third way is using the hat symbol, like this. This simply allows you to do what we did in the first option without doing multiple console.writeLine. Simply first line, second line and third line. If you remove the hat symbol, it will give you an error, so stay alert. Comments are really simple to do. They are used to explain C# code and leave notes. There are 2 types of comments, single line and multi-line. Single line are written with 2 forward slashes, and everything written as a comment will be ignored by C# and not executed. It can be written in the start of the line, like this, or at the end of code, like this. For multi-line comments, they start like this, a forward slash and an asterisk, and they end with an asterisk and a forward slash. For example, this is a multi-line comment. Variables are containers for storing data values. The ones on the screen are primitive data types, and each one is for storing a different data value. The C# syntax to declare a variable is type name equals value. For example, int num equals 10, double num equals 3.5, char mychar equals a, boolean equals false, and float num equals 12.2 f. Notice that defining a float requires an explicit f letter after the number. You can also declare a variable without assigning a value when declaring it, and assign it later. For example, int num equals 25. You can also assign a new value to a variable. Int num equals 10, num equals 25. Let's try and code it. Int num equals 10. In here we declare the type and give it a value, and then we will print it using console.writeLine num. As you can see, it gave us 10. If I want to give it a value later, I can simply remove the value from here, and next line num equals 25. We access the variable of num and give it the value we want to, 25, and it will be printing us 25. But what if it's already have a value, like this, int equals 10, and then we change its value to 25. That also works, and it will give us an output of 25. An important note is that we can declare many variables of the same type in the same line of code. For example, int num1, num2, and num3. We can also give them a value if we want to. num2 equals 20, num3 equals 12. Constants are variables that after declaration they become unchangeable and a read-only variable. Constants are also usually fields, which means they're outside of any method. For example, const float pi equals 3.14f. This variable cannot be changed, but we can read it, for example, using console.writeLine. Pi is pi. String is a sequence of characters. For example, hello world, h1z1, attack. We declare it like any other variable. String word equals a word. We can do a lot with strings. We can combine two variables. For example, string first word equals hello, second word equals world. String full word equals first word plus second word. That will give us hello world. We can also combine a text and a variable. For example, string color equals red and string like color equals I like the color plus color. That will give us I like the color red. We can use strings built-in methods such as toUpper and toLower. For example, LikeColor has in it properties and methods. In these methods we have toUpper. This method gives us just copies the string all in uppercase. So let's make a variable that will contain LikeColor in uppercase. String caps color equals LikeColor.toUpper. When we'll print it, it will give us LikeColor all in caps. I like the color red. We can also use toLower, which just gives this all in lowercase. Lower color. I like the color red, all in lowercase. C# variables must be identified with unique names. These unique names are called identifiers. Identifiers should not start with a number. They should not include a whitespace. They should not be a reserved word such as int, string, or if. Identifiers should have a descriptive name, for example, user control instead of user CTR. For variable identifiers, they mostly have a lowercase first word and the first letter of the second word is in uppercase, while classes and methods identifiers have the first letter or the first word in uppercase as well. In the next episode, we will talk about user input. Thanks for watching.